Hey, and welcome back everyone. Today we're going to look at the viral outbreak film, Songbird. Please like and subscribe and let's dive into this thing. The Covid-23 virus has mutated, forcing governments to open quarantine camps for all those showing symptoms. The death rate has skyrocketed to 56%, and only the few immune may leave their homes. Is this a movie or a documentary? Nico is a courier delivering packages and is immune to the virus. He delivers to a very friendly man who, like most, has been taken over by the fear of the virus. He places the package in a device that kills viruses with UV rays. People hate Nico because he's immune and able to move freely. His boss Lester berates him for not dropping off a priority package yet. He tells him to finish up his basketball game and get moving. We meet the Griffin family. The mother Piper appears to be immune, but her daughter Emma is immune compromised. The government forces them to take tests every day to make sure no one is sick. The Department of Sanitation takes anyone showing symptoms to Q zones, where many believe is just a quick death. Nico arrives dropping off and picking up packages, along with a tip that he's pretty grateful for. There's a new strain of the virus that kills people within 48 hours. Nico FaceTimes his girlfriend Sarah, who is unfortunately locked up like everyone else. Lester gets a message from a customer saying he never got his package, so he has one of his men, Dozer, check on him with a drone. The Griffins seem to have some kind of hookup to get people out of the lockdown zones, and only costs a measly 300 grand. The drone finds Nico and he flips it off. Nico reaches a military checkpoint where they immediately pull guns on him. His bracelet, however, shows he's immune and can pass through. They really hate him because he's immune and he mocks them for having to wear masks. Nico gets home and starts up his bike that he's been working on. He's planning on getting his girlfriend out of the city and away from all this nonsense. We meet a woman named May who is a singer on YouTube or a similar type of platform. Seems like everyone listens to her these days. Sarah gets a ring at her doorbell and it's Nico with a package for her. It's just some cringe poem he wrote her and some pencils. Lester calls him and tells him to get going. Nico tells her he'll call her tonight though. It's date night with Nico and Sarah. Well, kind of. They're watching a movie over FaceTime. That is until her grandmother Lita comes in and starts hacking up a lung. Public Sanitation somehow immediately pulls up with a warning saying, if you leave your home, you'll be shot on sight. We see a man named Emmett from Sanitation kill a man who left the Q zone. Sanitation are about to break into Sarah's apartment, but Emmett tells them it's the wrong one. Nico rushes to Sarah's and he's telling her not to open the door. A woman screams and fights as Sanitation takes her away. Emmett talks to Sarah and asks if she ever broke her lockdown and tells her not to forget her temp check in the morning. She brings her grandmother water and medication. Nico arrives and things aren't looking very good. Sanitation will take both women in the morning if Lita fails the temp check. William Griffin is about to leave his house and his wife catches him. He says he's going out to get those passes so they can keep a roof over their head. Piper reminds him every time he leaves he risks bringing the infection, so make sure he burns his clothes when he comes home. Well, William arrives in a motel room and it looks like he's having an affair with that YouTuber May. This is all very uncomfortable. His wife watches as he burns his clothing. The following morning, and Nico slept outside Sarah's apartment all night. It's almost 9 a.m. and Sarah checks on Lita. Obviously, Lita fails and armed guards are going to come and take her and Sarah. Sarah tells Nico he'll never see her again and to say their goodbyes. He tells her he's going to go get those immunity passes for her today and will be back. Nico asks Lester for help and he reluctantly tells him he's been delivering black market passes to the Griffins this whole time. He needs 150 grand for each band and is going to have to figure it out somehow. Nico arrives at the Griffins and asks to speak to William. He asks about the pass and William plays it off like he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, because no one is supposed to know. Piper, however, gives him an address where he can go. Nico calls Sarah and it doesn't look good as the guards are outside the door. Nico arrives at what looks to be some sort of an abandoned building. He gets off an elevator and can hear singing in the distance. Nico comes to a room where he finds Emmett singing. Emmett tells him a little birdie told him he needs 2 passes and to follow him. He asks Nico for the names and information so he can program the passes, but Nico's hesitant. Emmett tells him he can either give him the info or leave. They shake hands and Emmett says he needs the name of the girl and the name of the person who told him about this, as he stabs Nico with a knife. Nico headbutts the man in the face and he calls the guards. The guards are chasing after and shooting at Nico. A guard is about to shoot Nico and a man comes up from behind and hits him. He pulls Nico into a bathroom and says they're drawing a line in the sand today. More guards arrive and the man says he's going to stay and fight and sends Nico off. Well, that was pretty quick and pointless. William calls Lester and he wants to know where Nico is and how he knew about the passes. Nico patches his wound and calls Sarah. Apparently Lita died and Sarah asks about the passes. Nico, the failure, however, was unable to acquire them. He tells Sarah to hide and buy him some time. William calls May begging to see her, and Dummy doesn't realize his wife can hear this conversation. May no longer wants to see him and has hidden recordings of him talking about the black market passes as a sort of insurance policy if he ever tried anything. Piper has taken his gun and tells him to get the hell out. Nico sneaks on through the front gate as William leaves in his car. Piper calls May, warning her of her husband's intentions. Nico breaks into the Griffin household, while Lester calls Piper and tells her Nico is inside. Sanitation still has not taken Sarah though. I mean, how long does it take them to remove one person? Piper hides her daughter in the bathroom, and sanitation finally starts banging at Sarah's door. They enter and Sarah knocks one out with a baseball bat. Piper has her gun ready as Nico searches her home. Sarah is now wearing one of the sanitation suits in order to sneak out. She helps carry her grandmother's body down the stairs. Piper pulls the gun on Nico and he says he just wanted help and she tried to have him killed. She's worried about her daughter, but he just needs a pass. Piper then decides to help him out. Sarah runs off while still wearing the suit. Piper successfully encodes the bracelet and she gives it to Nico. Emmett finds the unconscious sanitation worker and tells everyone Sarah is wearing his suit and to find her. Nico gets on his bike and hurries towards Sarah. May is packing her things and heading to Dozer's house to avoid William. Her car won't start and William pulls up. He starts choking her, and just as he does, a drone flies up over the building, being piloted by Dozer. The drone shoots and kills William. Sarah is running and still in the suit, but they manage to catch her. Emmett points out she's been with her sick grandmother this whole time and shows no symptoms, meaning she's immune. They still take her anyways. Nico arrives at her apartment and she's gone, but at least Emmett is there. Emmett goes on and on about being gods because they're immune and other nonsense. Nico has had enough of this, and so have I, and asks where Sarah is before stabbing him. He calls Lester for help to have him track down a sanitation truck carrying Sarah. Lester contacts Dozer, who gets on it with his drone. They tell Nico where she is, but he has to move it. Nico arrives just in time and grabs Sarah, telling her to trust him. He snapped a bracelet on her and tells them to scan it. It checks out and the military stand down. Sarah tells Nico she's immune and he doesn't need to worry. It's been 3 months and Nico and Sarah are doing well. William and Emmett have been exposed by Piper and May for their black market immunity bracelets. Nico and Sarah are riding along the ocean and Nico sends one final package to Lester, an immunity bracelet. And this piece of propaganda-driven trash comes to an end. This movie was a complete dumpster fire and not worth anyone's time. Anyways, if you could like the video and subscribe, I would be really grateful. Thank you for watching and take care.